Today we are going to build a full stack e-commerce store with an admin panel using Next.js. It will be two projects. The first one, e-commerce admin, where we are going to use Tailwind CSS for styling, and the other project, e-commerce front, where we are going to use styled components. Both of them will be built from scratch using Next.js, React, and Mongoose for our Mongo database. When we log into our e-commerce admin, here we can see some dashboard and some statistics. Then we have products here, where we can add, edit and delete products. Let me, for example, open this iPhone 14 Pro Black. Here, as you can see, we have name, category, some custom properties. Then we have photos and we can upload more photos. Then we have description and the price. Then we have categories, where we can add, edit and delete categories. Let me open, for example, mobiles. Inside mobiles, we have some custom properties. Those properties are used to create filters on categories page. Then we have orders, and here we can just see all the incoming orders. Then we have admins, so we can decide who can actually log into our e-commerce admin. Then we have settings, where we can decide what should be the featured product on our homepage here. And then we have also shipping price. Here on our e-commerce front, we see the featured product on the homepage. Then we have the latest products here. And as you can see, I can add and remove products from my watch list that I can find inside my account page. We can also add products to the cart from here with this cool animation. Now let me show you the categories page. Here, as you can see, we have max 3 products per category and those links to show all products for this category. Here we have on a single category page, we have those filters that we have created inside our e-commerce admin. So I can filter, for example, to show only black mobiles. And we have also sorting here, so I can sort by price and stuff like this. Now let me show you all products. Here we are just showing all the products. Let me open, for example, this MacBook. Here we can see all the photos for this MacBook, some description, title, and here we have reviews. I can add a review using those stars, title, and description. Now let me open this account page. Here, as you can see, I can see all my orders and my wish list. Here I have my account details that is used inside the cart page, here inside order information. On the left side, we have just our cart with all the products. I can add and remove them. Here I see the products total, shipping, and the total here. I can continue to the payment to just go to the Stripe checkout page. And the last thing here on the right side is just a search functionality. So I can search for example, iPhone. And here, as you can see, it found 2 different iPhones. And of course, both of the projects are responsive, so they look good on both mobiles and desktops. This tutorial may look like it's very long because it's almost 12 hours, but that's because I wanted to explain as much as possible to make it easy to follow. The whole project is built from scratch, so there is no starter code or anything. I will put the timestamps and the source code in the description, and as always, all I ask for is that you would smash that like button to give me some extra motivation for the future projects. And if you have questions or anything, let me know in the comments. And now, without further ado, let's dive into the code. Alright, so today we are going to build an e-commerce store, and this will be actually 2 projects because when we are going to build an e-commerce, we need to have products and stuff like this. So we will need also an admin panel. So I will have 2 projects here. The first one is e-commerce front, and this will be for our e-commerce store. And I also have this e-commerce admin project where we will have all admin dashboards and administration to create, edit and update products, see our orders and stuff like this. So we are going to actually start with this e-commerce admin because to build an e-commerce, we need to have some kind of products in our database first. So that's why we are going to start with e-commerce admin. And both projects will be built with Next.js, but for e-commerce admin, I will use Tailwind CSS, and but in e-commerce front, so our e-commerce store, I will use styled components to make things different, and so you can guys learn different ways of styling things. Right, so let's start with our e-commerce admin. So as you remember, this will be a Next.js project, so we can actually put our products into database, and this will be an Next.js project. And as you can see, for now, for both projects, I only have an empty directory, empty folder here, e-commerce admin, and there's nothing here inside. And I'm opening here a terminal just to install a Next.js project here. So I will do yarn. You can use npm if you want. Yarn create, and let's do next app, and let's do just dot, so it will be installed here in the current directory. And now it's asking if I want to use TypeScript. I will click no, because we can add TypeScript later if you want. ESLint, yes, why not? Would you like to use source? No, I don't need source directory. Experimental app, no, I don't want experimental stuff. Import alias, let's just click default, and now it's installing everything. Right now it's installed, so I can just hit yarn dev to get a URL for my app, and I will just copy this and I will put it into my browser. And we have Next.js 13 app working, so I will hide my terminal for now, and let's go into pages and our index.js page, because this file shows this page for us. All right, so as you remember, for our e-commerce admin, we are going to use Tailwind, but for e-commerce store, we are going to use styled components. So for now, I will start by putting Tailwind CSS for Next.js. So I will just do Tailwind Next.js, so we can grab all the comments. And I have already created my project, so I just need to install those three. I'll open new tab in my terminal here, and I will do yarn add those three. Later we just need to run npx tailwind css init, so let's do this. Yes, and then we need to add this tailwind config file. So let's see, tailwind config. Yes, and we need to put content to be like this. So let's do content this, and we are not using source directory, so I can just get rid of this. And let's see, now inside global CSS, let's see styles, global CSS. Let's remove everything from here, and let's just put those three here. All right, now we should try to see if it works. I will restart here by running yarn dev again, and I will refresh here. We don't have any styles for now, but let's go to index, and let's see, I will remove everything from here. We'll just leave an empty return, and I will just do div with some class name like background red 500, and let's put test here, and it looks like it works. So we don't need this inter thing for fonts, so let's just remove everything from here, and we just have an home function, and that's it. So now the main thing that we need for our e-commerce admin panel is so we can be able to log in. So let's start by creating a login page. Right, so I will maybe put a div with a class name to make it a dark background. So let's do maybe background blue, and let's do maybe 900, and let's make it width of screen, same with height. Yeah. And now on the middle, I want to have a button login with Google, something like this. So I'll create a button that will say login with Google, something like this. And now I need some class names on this as well. So let's make it white. So let's do background white. Let's add some padding of 2. Yeah. And now I want it to be centered. So let's add here flex. And let's put this button in a separate div here, And now let's put also items center. Yeah. And now for this div, let's add class names to make it text center and width of full. Yeah, so now our button is on the middle. Maybe we can add some rounded corners, rounded medium. Yeah, so it will look better. Maybe even we can change it to large. And let's add the bigger padding on the sides of 4. Yeah, I think that's much better. I will make this a little bigger here in my browser. I will zoom in so you guys can see it better. Right, so we have login with Google, and this doesn't do anything if I'm clicking on it, because now we need to be able to add some kind of authentication. And I think the easiest way would be to use NextAuth for this. So I will open NextAuth, and let's see. It's super easy. We just need to add those 3 files or those 3 code snippets. So let's start with this one on the left side. Inside Pages API auth, we need to put this file. So let's go to our Pages API, and here we need to create the directory auth, and inside auth we need to create a directory called square brackets ... next auth and .js here on the end. And this is because those parentheses are for, so all requests that go to auth will go to this specific file. Right, so now we can copy this, but before we paste anything, I will add this library here. So let's do yarn add next auth. Yeah, and we will probably have all those providers. So that's it. Let's just paste this here. I will hide my terminal and sidebar. And we have a lot of providers here, and I will just leave one provider, Google provider. So I can remove Apple and Facebook. So let's just leave it. Remove this and email provider. Yeah, and we need 2 things for our Google provider, Google ID and Google secret. So it should be inside the env file. So first, let's create an env file inside our e-commerce admin. Let's do a new file and let's do .env. Right, and here we need Google ID and Google secret. Yeah, and I think that's it. Let's see. Yeah, Google ID and Google secret. Right, and to get those we need to go to our Google Search Console. I think it's this one, Google Cloud Console, and we will create a new project here. I'm already logged in. You may need to log in here. Right, I'll click new project, and let's call our project next e-commerce, like this. Let's create it. Now it's created. I will select this project. All right, and let's see here inside our navigation we have API and services. Let's see what's inside. Here we need to go to credentials, and first we need to configure this consent screen. So let's do this, and we can here only select external. So let's do this, create app name. Let's just do next e-commerce. Support email, I will just pick my email, and let's see, do we need something else here? Yeah, one time more my email address, and let's click save and continue. And here same thing, save and continue, back to dashboard, and now we have it. Let's go back to credentials, and now we can create credentials, and it will be OAuth client ID. So let's pick this one, application type web application, and authorize redirect URLs, and this needs to be our localhost 3000, but with a specific URL. So I will go to documentation, quickly to go to providers, and let's scroll down to Google, and this is what we need to use. So I will copy this one and let's put it here. So localhost 3000/API/auth/callback/Google. Add URL. We don't need any more URLs. Let's create it. And now we have our client ID and client secret. So I will copy it and I will put it here, maybe inside those. So let's do it like this. And for client secret, it will be this one. Yeah, I prefer to put it inside apostrophes here. So let's do this. Now I think we are done here. So let's click OK. Now let's see here. Still nothing works, but we just put our first file. So let's go back to next.auth.js and let's see. We have our provider configuration here. Next thing is that inside our pages app.jsx, we need to put session provider. So let's go here and let's see. Inside the pages app.js, we need to put our session provider. We need to import session provider. So let's do this. And let's see. We need to change this app. So we will provide our session to the main component we have here. Because we haven't changed anything here, I would just copy and paste it. So it will be faster like this. It looks a little odd. So I will try to reformat it. And now I think it looks better. Yeah. Right, so we have our app component here, and we have main component here as a property, and we have page props, that is session and the rest. Right, and this should just work. Let's go to our client page, which will be our index.js, I guess. And there are a few things we need to add. The first is this import. So let's select this, and on the top I will put this import. So we are importing use session, sign in and sign out. All right, so now we can grab data from use session. So let's do this. And now let's see. Use session returns session for us. It's renamed from data to session. And now we can, as you can see here in the example, we can check if we have session, then it means that the user is logged in. Otherwise, we are not logged in. So if, let's do it like this. If we don't have any session, let's return just not logged in like this. And let's see, inside our app, we are not logged in. All right. So if we are not logged in, we should actually see all this. So I will do return parentheses, and let's put this button to log in. Otherwise, here we will be actually logged in. So let's do just return parentheses and maybe just a div logged in. All right. And we can probably just grab some more stuff here, like session user email. So let's do this, logged in, and let's print session user email. Right, but for now we are not logged in. And as you can see, for logging in button, we can use our sign in method that we are importing here. So let's use it. I will put here on click, and here I will put arrow function. And let's put here sign in like this. And now let's see if this worked. I will refresh, login. Yes, it works, but the problem is it's redirecting us to a specific next auth page. And I don't want to have it. I want to have it on my button here. So to fix it, you just need to add a provider ID here as a param, and for Google it's just Google. So if I save it like this, And let's see, I will click login with Google. I'm redirected to a login page. Right, and now I can pick my user, and I'm logged in as my user. If I refresh, I'm still logged in. So that is really nice. Right, but now I'm logged in. But the problem is I don't have any database. I'm just logged in and I don't know what type of user information I have and stuff like this. So we should be able to put all the users in a database when they log in. I want to have information about every user. So I will create a database on Mongo Atlas. So let's open Mongo Atlas. I will here sign in with my Google account. Yes. And for NextAuth, they have actually inside documentation, they have adapters for MongoDB here as well. So let's see here MongoDB. And we just need to yarn add this. So let's do this, yarn add those things. And we need to add lib mongodb.ts. This is TypeScript file, but we can just for now get rid of a TypeScript part. Right, so I will just select all of this. Let's copy, and we need to put it, they say we need to put inside lib mongodb. So let's do this. Inside, we don't have any lib directory, so I will create it here, lib. And we don't use TypeScript yet for this project, so I will just do mongodb.js. And here inside, I will just paste this. And we have some errors like we don't have Mongo client here, TypeScript thing. And we don't need this either, but this is a promise. And yeah, I think that's it. Now we can use it. And if you are wondering what this file is doing, it's basically a wrapper for a MongoDB connection. So the problem is that for serverless functions, we try to reuse existing connections. So if we are running the same, maybe not even the same code, but the same project again, we send another request, we try to find first an active connection to the database that we can reuse instead of connecting again. So this is what this file is doing. All right, so now let's see, we have this one. Now we can go to our NextAuth file. So let's go to Pages, API, auth, and NextAuth. And here we need to put MongoDB adapter. So let's add adapter here, param, adapter. And now let's do MongoDB adapter. And it has been imported for me here. If it doesn't automatically import for you, you just need to add it manually. And we have MongoDB adapter. And let's see, here we just need to put client promise. So I will do client promise. As you can see, the client promise is actually the export of our lib mongodb file. So this will just reuse an active connection to the database if we have an active connection. If it doesn't, it just creates a new connection here, MongoDB client, and it creates just a connection. Right. So now we have it. Let's go back to NextAuth. Let's see. I think that's all we need. I'll just a comma here. And well, let's open our app. Looks like we need to log in again. So let's log in with Google. There's an error here. It's because we didn't provide the MongoDB URL. So let's see. Here inside, and they want to have URL here to the database, but we didn't create it in the database yet. So let's create inside Mongo Atlas. I'll create a new project here, and let's call this one again Next e-commerce like this. And here I will just click next, create project. Let's build our database. I will use a free version.
And let's see. I think that's all we need. Let's create it. And now we need to create a user and password. My user will be e-commerce and the password will be, I will do for now e-commerce 123, and I will change it later so you guys cannot reuse it. Let's create user. And now we need to add IPs that will be able to access the database. For just local development, it's the only IP you need is your local IP. So I'll put my local IP. If you put the application to production and you publish this application, you need to put a mask for all IPs. I will show you in a minute. I will just click here, finish and close, go to database, and here inside network access, you can actually add more IP addresses, and you can click this one, allow access from anywhere, in case you publish your app. Right, now it's creating my database here, but I can put my MongoDB URL. So I will go to my .env file, and let's add a new row, MongoDB URL, apostrophes here, and now I need to wait for this database to be created. All right, so now our database is created. I will click connect here, connect your application, and here we get our URL here for our Mongo database connection. So I will just paste it here. I just need to replace password with my password, e-commerce 123. I will change it later. And now let's see, we have an error. Let's see why. I will open terminal here. I will just restart our app. So let's do yarn dev again. And let's go to localhost 3000. And let's see if it works. I will log in with Google. I will log in with my user. And we are logged in. Let's check the database. I'll close this one. Let's see, browse collections. And we have accounts, sessions, and users. And sessions is self-explanatory, but users and accounts, what's the difference between those? And the thing is that when one user logs in with different providers, for example, Twitter and Google, they will have two accounts. So one user can have many accounts. So for now, I have only one account and one user, but that's because I have only one provider. All right, so here we have the basic information about the user. So email and name. And here inside accounts, we have information about our user that logged in with a specific provider like Google. All right, so let's see. We have information about our user here. We have email and stuff. So now we can continue. We are logged in and we can now design our admin panel. So let's go to our index.js here. And let's see, here we have just logged in as session user email. Right, so the first thing I want to do is to add this dark skin. So I will do a div with some class names, and let's do background blue 900. I want to have this dark blue, and I will put this logged in as this user. And let's see here. Now I will add minimum height of screen, so it will take the full screen. And now I would like to have navigation on the left side and then the content on the right side. So for our navigation, I will create a separate component. So let's see, I will close this API, and inside not inside pages, I will create a separate directory for components. Let's go directory, components, yes, and inside I will put maybe just nav.js, right? And here just export default function navigation nav, and it will just return, let's say it will just return a div with navigation, just text here inside. And inside the index.js, let's just use this component. Let's use nav. Yeah, and it has been imported here for me, and we can see navigation here. Right, so now let's go inside navigation, and let's put everything inside aside. Oops, it should be aside like this. And so here we will have all everything that should be on the left side. So I will put maybe first a logo or something like this on the top. So we'll have first the logo and then our navigation. So for logo, I would like to use some kind of icon. Let's see, store. Yeah, I will take this one, copy JSX, and let's put a div with, or maybe not a div, a link. Let's make it an A for now. And I will put this icon, and let's put maybe also a span with some class names, and inside the span we will say next, or maybe just e-commerce admin with capital A, something like this. Let's see how it looks like. It looks really bad, but for this A we can add some class names here as well. So let's do flex. Yeah, this is better. But now one thing I want to change, all the texts here should be white. So let's do aside class name and let's put text white. Yeah, that's better. Let's add maybe even some padding. Let's do padding of 4. Yeah, why not? Now under this A tag, I will put navigation. So let's do just nav. And let's see, we need first maybe our home page for admin panel will be a dashboard. So let's do a link, but we shouldn't use A tags. So I will use actually a link from Next.js link. And here the first link will be just dashboard. And let's see. This didn't work because we need to have ref and just do just slash. We have dashboard, but I want to have an icon for each link. So let's go to icons here. Let's search for home. I think this one will work. Let's put it here. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, we have home, and maybe we should change this one to a link as well. So let's do a link, and let's do ref. It's required. Ref just slash, and it works. So now I would just put more links here, and I think we need another link for orders that we will need later, and we will need one for products, so we can have products. Maybe I will put products above orders, right? And maybe one more for like a general settings. So let's do settings here. The last one will be settings, and I want to have a cog icon on this one. So let's search for cog. This one will work. Let's put it here. Yeah, and now for orders, I would like to have a list. Something like this will work. Maybe we can take this one. Let's take this one for orders. Yes, and let's see, for products, I want to have some kind of package or a box. I think this one will work. Yeah, and let's see now how it looks like. Yeah, we have something, but now we need to make some spacing and stuff. So for all links here, 1, 2, 3, 4 links, I will add class names on all of those, and I want to make them flex. I want to add a gap of at least 2 or maybe 1. And I think this will work for now. So now for this whole navigation thing, I will add here flex as well, but I will change it to flex colon. So they will be under each other, and I will add gap here of maybe 2. Yeah, so we have some spacing. And now for this, for our logo, I want to add some more spacing here as well. So let's add gap 1 and some margin bottom of at least 4. Right, so this would work for now. Let's go back to index.js. And as you remember, on the right side, I would like to have a content over specific page. So let's say for dashboard now, I want to have like my latest order or something like this, or statistics. So here we have this div logged in as blah, blah, blah. But we need to actually add a flex here, so those two will be next to each other. Right, so we have this logged in as me. I will add some more class names here. So let's make the content part white. So let's do background white. Yes. And this one should grow all the way to the right side. So let's do grow, or maybe it should be flex grow. Yes. And I want to have a little bit of spacing from the top and from the right. So let's try with margin top 1, yes, and margin right of 1, yes. Maybe we can do more 2 and 2, right? And now I will add the rounded corners, rounded large, and let's add some padding of 4. Yeah, something like this. And for the margin, I will even put margin from the bottom, margin bottom 0. Sorry, margin bottom 2. All right, so now we have a white box for our content. And let's see. Now I would like to make this first one selected. So let's go back to our navigation. And let's see. All the links have the same class names here. Flex gap 1, flex gap 1. But I'll put those as a constant. So I'll copy this. I'll put a constant here, const, and let's say inactive link equals a string, and let's put those. And let's put const active link. And here I will put everything that is inside inactive link, a space, and I will add background of white. And let's now use it somewhere, those two. So here, and here. Let's add curly brackets and let's put inactive link. But on the first one, we will make it active. All right, something like this. Now for active link, we will change the text color to, let's say, this dark blue 900, yeah. And I would like to have a little bit of padding on all of those. So let's do padding 1 here, and let's do rounded corners on the left side. So let's do rounded left, and let's do large, yeah, something like this. And now I would like to get rid of this spacing here. So as you can see, the spacing comes from this padding 4 on the S side, and I would just remove it by doing padding right of 0. Yeah, now this works. But for our logo here, we need to add some more spacing. So let's say this is the first link here, and I will just put margin right of 2. Yeah, so we have some spacing, maybe 4, so that's better. Right, now let's fix maybe other links. So the first will be just slash to the home page, then we'll have products, yeah, and the third one will be orders, yes, and the fourth one will be just settings, yeah. And now let's see. Now if I click this one, and we are at products, but nothing is shown because we don't have any page for products yet. Right, so I will go back for now, and maybe let's create a page for products. Let's see how our index looks like. And we have too much stuff going on here, so we need to refactor this first. So the thing is that I don't want to put all of this on every page because it will be too much of copy paste. So instead, I will create a layout component here inside components, new file layout.js, and I'll put everything inside layout so I can reuse it. So I will just copy all of this and I will put it inside layout like this, but I will rename it to layout. And we are using session, but it's not imported. Same with sign in. So let's go to index.js, and we forgot about the top line here. So let's put it even inside our layout. Yes. Now let's go back to our index.js, and we don't need all of this code. So I will just put an empty home function, and we can get rid of all of this. And our home function will just return layout, but inside layout we'll say test. All right. And now I would like to see this test here instead of this logged in as blah blah blah. So let's go inside layout and let's grab our children from here. And instead of showing this logged in as blah blah blah, I'll get rid of this. And here inside I will just put our children. Yeah, and we have our test here. So this means that we can use the same structure for products page. So let's do new page here, new file, and let's do products.js. All right, and here let's do just export default function products, and let's see how it looks inside index. It's home with capital H, so let's do maybe capital P for products, and it should just return layout, but let's put it inside parentheses just in case. Layout, inside layout let's just say products page here. All right, now if I click products, we have products page here. Right, but I'm clicking here and it's still the dashboard link that is active. So let's fix it now. Inside navigation, as you can see, we have active link always on the first one. So to know what type of link we should make active and active classes on, I need to know what's the URL. And to check it, I will use location. Sorry, it's not location, it's actually use a router. So let's use router from next router, I guess. And let's do const router equals this. And let's just console log this, our router here, so we can see how it looks like inside, what type of data we have. I'll make it a little bigger. And as you can see here, we have an object with router and we have as path. And let's see, do we have something more? We have path name. Yeah, I guess we can just use path name. So now by checking the path name, we can see if it's products, and then the products link should have the active link classes. So let's grab the path name now. So let's do const path name equals just router. And now for products, we'll remove this inactive link and we'll check that path name includes, and it includes /products. Then we'll add active link classes, otherwise inactive link. Right? So now we have products and dashboard active. Right, so let's fix our dashboard link here. That is always active. And now let's see. Here we have active link. And the thing is, we need to check if the path name, let's see if we go to here, let's open our clear here, let's refresh. And I think I removed the console log, but we can check that path name is just exactly only /. Then we know we should make it active, otherwise inactive link, right? And let's go to products, and as you can see, only products is active now, right? And we should probably make the same thing we did for products for other links. So let's do now for orders, and let's change it to orders because it should be active only for orders. Now for settings, let's just change this to settings, all right? And let's see, we don't have pages for those, so that's why we'll get 404, but otherwise it just works. Right, so maybe for the home page, let's maybe just put some kind of hello and username. So here I will just, let's put a div, and here I will add some class names to make, for example, the text color blue 900. And inside I will just say hello and the email address. So let's do session, but we need to grab the session first. So let's do const session. But as you remember, it's just renamed from data to session. Use session. So let's use session, and here we are renaming data to session. And the session user email. And this will be only if we have session. So let's add question mark here and here. Session is not defined, all right? So if we don't have any session, let's just return nothing. Sorry, it's session with 2s. Like this, and now it works. So on the beginning, on the first render, this can be null. That's why we need this one. But probably we don't need this anymore because we have those question marks here. Inside we will also have, instead of email, we can use just name. So I will have my name, and we have an image there, I think. So the console log to see. Let's console log session, and let's see what we have inside session user. We have image that we can use. So I will use this image, and I will put an image here, and the source will be actually just session user and image. Let's see, and this is my image from my Google account. So that is really nice. I will put this image on the right side. So let's put maybe here a flex, and the first part will be inside the, let's put H1 or maybe H2 here for this hello part, and the second part will be inside a div. So let's put it like this. And this image, I want to make it smaller. So let's do maybe a width of 6 and a height of 6 as well. Yeah, this will work. And next to this, I want to print the name. So let's do session user name like this. And on this div, I will do flex as well. So it will be next to each other. And this whole div, I want to add some background colors. So let's do background, let's do gray, and let's do 200. It should be probably gray with A. Yeah, maybe 300. Yes. And the text inside should be black. Yeah. And let's add some gap of at least 1. Yeah. And now I want to put this on the right side. So for this flex, I want to add space between. Space between. No. Let's try with space around. No. The flex. Sorry, it should be justify between. Yeah, now it works. Now for this session username here, I put a span, and I will add some padding on the sides of, or maybe on the top and the bottom of 1 and on the sides of 2. And now I'll put my name here. Yes, but I will make this my image a little bigger. Let's do 8 here. And now maybe I can even remove this from the top and the bottom. It doesn't need to be that big. And let's put it back to 6. Yeah. I want to make it rounded. So it will be like a widget, rounded large. And the image hasn't been rounded, so I need to add actually here on the image, or not on the image, on this div, overflow hidden. Yeah, so now even the image is rounded. Right, here maybe my name, I will put it as a bold text. Yeah, so it will be prettier. And I think that will be it for now for our dashboard. Later we will add maybe some kind of statistics here and latest products here, something like this. But now, for now, we just need to add products for our e-commerce store. So let's do this. Let's go to products. Yes. And for our products, we need to add a button that will say like add a product. So let's do. And this button will be actually a link. So let's do link. And it will go to /products/new. Let's say something like this. And it will say add new product. Yeah. Now we need to add some class names so it will look like a button. So let's add maybe background green of, let's see, 700. And let's do text white. And let's see. Yeah, let's add some padding on the top and the bottom of 1 and on the sides of at least 2. I don't like this green, so I think I would change it to background of gray 200. And the text will be default black, maybe darker gray 300. Yeah, and the important part, let's do rounded medium, so it will have rounded corners. Maybe we can change the background color to the same as we have this dark blue. So let's try with the text white here and background blue 900. I think this looks nice. So I will go with this one for now. Right. So when we click this, it will go to /products/new. But again, we have 4 because we don't have page for this one. So inside pages, let's create a directory called pages. And inside we need to create a file called new.js. Sorry, it shouldn't be pages, it should be products. Refactor, rename, products, and now to new file, new.js. And here let's do export default function, and let's call this one new product and parentheses here, and it will just return. We need to return our layout, and inside let's say just new product. Yeah, we have layout, but it hasn't been imported for me. So let's try again, layout. Now it's imported. I try to refresh. Yeah, we have new product. We can go back, new product, and new product page. All right. And well, now we need to create a form for all new products. So we will need an input for product name. Let's add placeholder product name. Yeah, something like this. We don't have any borders or anything on this, but I think we can add global styling for all our inputs. So we don't need to add classes on every element. So on input, let's say like this, I will add border, or I can just do like this, apply, and I can apply now classes from Tailwind. So let's do apply border and border and border. Let's say what color can we do? Let's do border blue 900. Yes, I think I can make it wider. Let's do border 2. Now rounded corners, so let's do rounded medium. Yes. Now we need some padding. So let's do padding on the sides of 2, maybe just 1. Yeah. Right. But I think this blue border should be only if it's focused. So let's do input focus like this, and let's apply. And let's apply border of blue 900 like this. But here we will do like a gray color. Gray 400. Yeah, or maybe 200, 300 maybe. Yeah, so if I click here, it's blue. Yeah, and by default it should be width of full. Yeah, and let's maybe even add another apply for margin bottom of 2, something like this. So when we put more inputs, there will be spacing between those. So the input here, and we can have more information. Actually here I think we need to put text area for description. So I will get rid of all of this, and I will have text area, and I will add a placeholder here that will say description, right? And I want to have the same styling for the text area, so I'll do text area, and here same thing, text area focus. Yeah, so this will work. Maybe on the top on this page I will put an H1 that will say new product like this, and here I will add some class names that will say, for example, let's add text to be blue 900, and let's do margin bottom of 4, maybe less 2. Yeah, and let's make it bigger, so let's do text large. Is it like this? Yeah, text large worked. Or maybe text XL. Yeah, I think this will work better. Maybe we can even for H1 put those classes as defaults. So let's do H1 and let's apply all of those. And then now we can get rid of those classes because it will be default that H1 looks like this one. So for other pages like orders and settings, we'll have this H1 that looks like this. Right, the next thing is actually that we need a price. So let's add one more input, and let's add a placeholder of price like this. And I think it would be nice to have like labels for each input here. So I will actually maybe just put a label for each input here, and the first label will be just a product name, and then I will put more labels for description, and let's add a label for price as well. Let's do price in US dollars. Yes, and now for this input I will put the type to be number. Yeah, so it will be easier to put price. And now for the labels I will make also some global styling here. That label will have the color of let's do apply text blue 900, and I think this will work like this. So now the last part here is a button for now that will just save a new product for us. So let's add it. Let's go back to Node.js and let's put a button, and let's call this one just save. And it would be nice maybe to add the class name for this, but instead of adding a lot of class names, I will just add button primary here, so I can style it here. Let's do button primary, and I will just apply styles like, for example, background blue 900, text white. Let's see. Let's add padding on the sides of 4. Let's add the rounded medium corners. Yeah. And maybe some padding on the top and the bottom of 1. Yeah. I think this will work. Let's see how it looks like here on products. Yeah. Even here we can change to button primary, so it will look the same way as this one. Right, but now let's try to save our first product. So let's go back to Node.js, And the first thing is actually we need a state for all of those inputs. So let's do const and let's do title, set title equals use state empty string as default. Same for description and same for let's see, price, and that's it for now. Now we need to put value here to be title or name, and well, let's see, then we need also set, or sorry, on change, and on change on this input we will get event, and we will just run set title to event target value, right? Maybe I can put it in different lines so it will be easier to read, right? And now same thing for text area and other, and this other input for the price. Let's do the text area first. So let's do on first value. Either we can put value here or we can put value here. I think I will put value here. So let's do value and let's do description. I put into separate lines so it will be easier to read. And on change, event, set description, event target value. Yeah, let's see if this works. Yes, it does. And now the last input, same thing, just a different input. So let's do value equals, and here price, and on change, event, set target, set price, event target value, like this. Right. So now what should happen when we click on this button? We can either add on click on this button, or we can actually make this button type of submit, and we can put the whole thing, all the inputs inside the form, and we can add on submit on this form instead. That way, when we hit enter on the last, let's say on the last input, it will be submitted as well without clicking the button. So that is really helpful. So let's put everything here, and let's put this here, and this failed to compile. Let's see, because on submit is empty. Let's say that on submit we will have a function that will do create product. Yes, and let's just put this function here, create product. Yes, and now to create a product we need to send a request to our API. So how can we do this? We can either use fetch or Axios. I think it would be easier with Axios, so I'm going to install it. Let's do yarn add Axios. Yeah, and now let's do Axios, and it has been imported for me. Let's do post, because we want to send a post request to create stuff, and let's post to /API/products, and now data that we want to post. Let's define it here, const data, and let's just put title and description and price inside, and let's just send this data like this. And this is an async function, so I'm going to add a wait here and async here on this function declaration, right? And that should work. But now we need to define this endpoint. So let's do this. Let's go to API here, and let's create inside the API file called products.js. And same that they're doing it here. We just need to export a default function with request and response. So let's do this. Export default function. The name doesn't really matter. I will do handle because this is the same name they are using. And let's grab request, response, and let's maybe just respond with JSON and all the information that we have inside request. So now if I hit save, well, it got redirected, but this is because I need to go back to new. And for this function, I get an event that I need to do a prevent default on, because the default behavior of a form is using get requests and passing all the parameters to the URL, and we don't want to do this. So let's try again. Let's put test here. Let's open network to see if we get anything. Yeah, and we get 500 error. Let's see. Something was wrong. Let's see, payload preview response. Let's see where it has been sent. API/products. Let's see here. We get an error that says, okay, it has problems with converting response to JSON, so we cannot just send the whole request. So here we cannot transfer this to a JSON. So let's maybe try with request method. Like this. And now let's see if this will work. Yes, it does. Preview, and it says it's a post request. Right, so let's grab it. Let's do const method from request. Now in case it is method is post, then we'll create a product. So let's create a product here. So the problem here is actually that to create a product and to put it inside the database, we need to have some kind of database layer connection. And I think we are going to use this time Mongoose again. So I'm going to yarn add Mongoose, and now I will create models here for products inside our database. Let's go and create new directory, models, and here inside models I'll create new file called let's call this one product, and here we have the definition of a product model. So let's do first we need the schema, so let's do const model schema equals new schema from Mongoose, and here we define our schema. So for now, each product needs title or name, doesn't really matter how we are going to call it, description and price. So let's do title. It will be a string. Then we have a description, will be a string as well, and we have a price that will be a number. But the thing is that I want to put more information here. I want to make it type of number, and I want to be sure that this one is required. So let's do required true. And well, the title should be required as well. So let's put type string here and required to true as well. And that's it for our model for now, model schema. So maybe let's call it product schema instead. And now let's create a model. So let's do const, and let's do product equals new, not new, just model. And this function has been imported for me as well. And first is the name of the model. So let's say product, and then the schema, so just product schema. Right, now we will just export this const, and let's go to our products. Right, and here we need to first connect to our database. So maybe here on the top, let's do Mongoose. And let's import Mongoose from Mongoose, yes. And let's do connect. And here we need this URL for our database. So we can do either this, or maybe we can actually use this Mongo database here. But actually this returns a Mongo client and not Mongoose client. So I don't know if this will work, but we can try. Let's see how, what is the name? Client promise. Okay, let's try to use it, client promise. And if we can grab URL, yeah, we can grab URL even from this. Let's see, I will respond with response JSON post here. Let's see, yeah, it worked. So we can actually connect, but maybe we can just, if we do like this Mongoose connect, we are just creating another connection, but here inside we can probably have a working connection. So let's try to use it. Let's do Mongoose and let's put promise here, maybe with capital P. Yes, promise equals, and let's do client promise like this. And now here, let's when we have a post request, let's try to create a product. So let's import our product model. So it has been imported for me. And now let's try to hit create. And well, to create, we need to put all the data. And the data we have actually in the payload. So let's grab it from here, or maybe here inside our post. So let's do const, and let's grab title and description and price from request body. Yeah, and now let's put it here, title, description, price. And this is an async function, so I'm going to add a wait here, and I will also add async here, export default async function, right? And this will return our new product from the database, the product document, we can call it like this. And let's just put it here, product document. Yeah, and now let's see if we can create it. Let's do test 1 and the price 1. Let's just save it, and let's see. It says it's pending, and that means something went wrong. Yeah, it failed. Let's see what happened. So it looks like our connection didn't work. So to fix it, I'm not going to use this promise that we have here. Instead, I will add another lib called mongoose here .js, and here inside I will create my own connection, and I will try to reconnect. If we have a connection, if we don't, I will just create a new connection. So let's do export default function, maybe just export function, so we can have a nice name on it. Let's call it mongoose connect, and let's do something like this. Let's grab the URL or URI, and it's process.env.mongo URI. And now we can check if we have mongoose connection, and we can check the ready state. And the ready state can be, as you can see, 0 disconnected, 1 connected. Let's check if it's 1. Let's do if it's 1, then it means we have a connection. So if it's 1, let's just return mongoose, and let's do mongoose connection as promise. Otherwise, else, let's just connect. So if we don't have any connected connection, then let's do just mongoose connect like this and URI. So we can actually put this URI here only when we need this. Right, and now we can use our mongoose connect function inside our API products.js. So let's put it here, mongoose connect like this, and we are connected. I will add a wait here, and because it's an async function. And now let's try again. I'll hit save here, and we get an error again. Let's see again, test. Let's put 1 here and test even here. Let's see if we will get an error. Let's hit save. Yeah, we get an error. Cannot overwrite product model once compiled. Let's see what's wrong here. So it should be inside models product. Let's see here inside. Maybe it should be with capital P. Let's try again. I will refresh here. Let's put test here, and 1 here. And now let's hit save. And now it worked. So as you can see here, we get a document with ID and all the information. So now it worked. I will hide my terminal, and yeah, I forgot it should be with capital P, the names of the models. Right, back to our products API, and let's see, we can get rid of this mongoose thing. And well, now let's go to the products page, and we should be able to display this one product here, right? And other thing is that here inside New.js, when we create a product, after it's created, we should redirect back to this products page. So to do this, let's add a redirect. So let's put a state first, go back and set go back, and or maybe go to products, and set go to products, and the default will be false, right? And here, after we created the product, let's do set go to products to true, right? And here, before we will do render, let's check if we have go to products, if it's true. And if it's true, let's return a redirect. Let's do redirect. It's not a component, I think, it's just a function. Yes, redirect to just slash products. Yes. Now if I create test2, test and 2, save, and then we get an error. And why is that? I don't know. Let's try again. Try with 2, save, we get an error. Let's see why. Let's try to refresh, and let's try again. Test2, and just 2, save. Now we get still the same error. Cannot overwrite product model once compiled. And I think this is because we need to fix our model here. So first, before we will create a model for product, we will check if it's already created. So let's do models, plural, and let's grab it from here, models, and let's check if we have product like this. Otherwise, we will create a new model. Right, now I will refresh. Let's see, test2, and 2. Let's hit save. And now we get a small error on next redirect. So that's better. Let's go back to New.js and let's see. Maybe instead the redirect, let's just do router. So import this one, and let's just do, we need to use router, sorry, instead. So let's do const router equals use router from next router, yes, and then let's return router, and let's do just push, and let's push to /products. Yes. Now I will just refresh, and let's see, test 3, and just 3, save. And it worked, but it shouldn't be, it should be without return here. Right, I will refresh, let's try again. Let's do test 4, and just 4, save, and we are back at products page. Right, so now let's go back to products and pages products, and here we want to list all the products from our database. If I refresh here all the collections, we can see our products here that I created: test 2, test 3, and test 4. So let's list them here. So first we want to grab all the products, and for this I'm going to use use effect. So the use effect, arrow function like this, and empty square brackets here, because it should run only once when we mount our component. And now here axios get, and let's say /products, and let's do 10 because it's async function, and we don't want to put await here because then we'll have some warning because of use effect. Let's do then, and let's do response, and with this response we have data inside. So let's do just console log response.data. Right, so now I will go back to products.js inside the pages API, and if it's a get request, if method is actually a get request, then I'm going to respond with JSON and just all the product.get, and here we need to put await because it's async function, but that's basically it. Right, so I will save this, and now let's open console here to see how it works. Let's go to network, products, preview. Okay, it didn't work, and I think it's because it shouldn't be just /products, it should be /API/products. And we get a 500 error. Let's see why. API products, product, get. Maybe I think it should be just find instead of get. Let's try again, refresh, and I think it worked. Let's see console. Yes, we have an array of 4 objects. So let's go back to pages products, and instead of console login, let's put it inside state. So let's do products set products equals use state. Default will be an empty array. And now let's see, here we want to, instead of console log, we will do set products. So we'll have our products array inside the state. And now let's just let's show the products. So I think I can put it inside the table. It will be a table with t head, and let's put 1 tr here, and the first column will be product name, and then we will have an empty column, no title, and inside t-body let's just loop through all the products here. So let's do products.map, and for each product here I'll put parentheses, and for each I'll put a new row here, table row, and inside the first column I will put the name. So let's do product title, and on the second we will have buttons here, so I'll put just buttons here. Right, and we have test 2, test 3, test 4. Would be nice with some basic styling for this table. So let's do class name basic on this table, and I will add some simple CSS here, table basic, and I want to add on the cells, so trtd, and let's add some let's apply some styling here. Let's put border, yeah, something like this, and the table itself should be let's do apply, and let's do with full. Yeah, so it will take all the space. I want to have some padding of 1 on the cells, And let's see, I want to make the border darker, so let's do border and gray and 200, maybe darker 300. Yeah, I think this will work. And maybe the head of the table, so let's do table basic t head trtd. Let's make it grayish, so let's do apply, and let's do background, and maybe let's do blue 100. Yeah, so we have something like this. And instead of gray border, maybe we can do blue border of 700. Let's do bright, let's do 200. I think this will work. Right, now let's go back to pages, products, and I want to add even some margin top of 2 from the top. And for the buttons, instead of the buttons, I want to put some links, or maybe buttons to edit the product and to delete it. So first button for deleting, so or maybe editing. So let's do link, and here we need to add href, and the href will be to just slash products slash, and then let's add the ID of this product to the underscore ID to the URL, and let's put edit here and put it in different line. Yeah, and maybe I will quickly even style here links inside this table basic a tag, and I want to make it buttons. So let's do apply, and let's do background blue 900, text white. Let's see, yeah, something like this. And let's do text small, text SM. Yeah, let's add padding of 1 on every side. Let's do rounded corners medium, something like this. And I want to increase on the sides padding to make it 2. Yeah, this will work. And I want this to be flex. Right, and now I will also, or maybe inline flex. Yeah, and now I will also add a gap of 1 in case there's something more inside, and I will add actually some icons inside. So for this link edit, I want to put an icon of a pen or something like this. So let's do pen. Yeah, I think this will work. Copy JSX, let's put it here, and let's see. Yeah, it's too big, so let's change it to 4 by 4. Even this is too big, let's do 3 times 3. No, 4 is good. Yeah, and now we need also another link. So let's do a link to deleting this. But maybe we can first fix so we can edit. When I click on this, it goes to slash products slash and then ID. Maybe instead of this, it should be edit. So slash products slash edit and then the ID. So let's go back. Let's click edit. Now it goes to edit slash and then ID, but we need a page for this. So inside pages, inside products, let's add a new file here. And even here we will put not a file, actually we'll put a new directory here called edit. Inside edit we will create this magic file called dot inside square brackets, and here let's put edit product.js. Let's make it with capital P. Right, and here let's do just export default function and edit product page, something like this, and it will just return parentheses, and let's put layout here like this, edit product form here, and let's see if this will work. Yes, it did. So now here we need to fetch the product of this ID. So let's do this. First, we need router. So let's do const router equals use router from next router. Yes. And then we need to grab the ID of the product. So let's do const ID equals router. And do we have params? No, but let's see what do we have inside our router. So let's do console log router, and inside router we have as path, and we have route, we have path name. Let's see, query, and here inside query we have edit product to be this. I think that would be much better to edit this file name to be just a ... and ID like this, and this way it will be renamed to, let's see, I will scroll down here, let's see, query, and we have ID. Right, so I can grab ID from router query. Yeah, and now I can use effect, and first param is an arrow function, second param is dependencies, so I'll put ID here. And now let's fetch product of this ID. So let's use Axios, let's use get, and now /API/products, we can do something like this and slash the ID, or maybe we can just do a regular get but with some query like ID equals and then the ID from the URL. So maybe let's do it this way, and let's do then, and then we will get a response. So let's put it as arrow function, and with this response let's just console log our response data. Yes. And let's now fix that the query params will work, because for now if you do a get request to API products, it will just return all the products. So here all the 4 products, and we want only one. So let's go to API/products, and let's see, here we have a get request. Let's see if we have, and let's see headers, if we have a query param like this. So let's do, if we have request query ID, I will put a question mark here in case something doesn't exist. If we have this ID, then let's just respond with JSON, and here we want to just await to do product find one, and we want to find one by ID. So let's do find one, and we need to put underscore ID to be this. So let's put it here, and we don't need this question mark here because we know that here it will exist. And that's it. For the else, we will put this thing if we don't have an ID inside the query. So now if I refresh here, let's see here, it failed. We have find one by ID, we have await. So let's see what went wrong. Let's see how this looks like. Right here, as you can see, we are passing undefined to this request. So let's go back to products edit, and here first we will check if we don't have an ID, then we'll just return here and not ask for a product. So now it should work. Let's see, payload and preview, and we get our product here. Right, so now we can actually show the form, probably the same form that we have for a new product, so we can edit an existing product. So inside new product, products new, we have this form here and state and everything. So I think we can just move it. I can just copy this like this, maybe even including, no, I don't need the whole function.
I will just grab this return and all the states, and I will create a separate component for this, and I will call it products form, or maybe just product form singular.js. And here I will just do export default product form, and let's just place everything here. We don't need a layout, we just want to have this form. So let's put it like this, and export default should be function product form. And let's see, I think it looks fine. Now let's go back to new, and we don't need all of this. We just need to return this product form, but we want to have an empty form here, so that should be correct, and we want to get rid of those unused imports. Let's see if that page works. Let's go add new product, and it works, but here we actually need a layout. So I will put parentheses here, and let's put layout like this, and here product form like this. Right, but when we are editing, we want to have the same thing. So let's go to this page, pages, products, edit, and the ID. And here inside layout, I want to put product form as well, but I want to send all the information about this product, and I have it inside response data. So let's save it inside the state first. Let's do const product info set product info equals use state, and let's say default will be null. Yeah, and here we will do set product info response data. Yes, and here we will just pass this product info, and we will just spread it like this, product info, and this way we'll have all the properties here. So let's go here inside, and let's grab those properties from here. It's title, it's description, and it's price. And it's started wrapping, so I will put those into separate lines like this, maybe more to the left. Yeah, I think this will work. I will put it here, this thing here, and I'll put defaults maybe here. Okay, now we have a problem because we have same property names as state names. So I can rename those properties to, for example, previous title, or existing, or maybe current title, existing title, and this to existing description, and this to existing price. And this way, instead of doing empty string here, I will do existing title if it exists, otherwise empty string. Same here, existing description, otherwise empty string. Here for the price, existing price, otherwise empty string. And now it works. And now as you can see, we get this form that is filled, but the problem is it says new product, and this is because inside this component product form we get this h1 here that we should move outside. So let's go to products, add new product. Let's go to this page, new.js. Let's put this h1 here, but when we are on editing page for a specific product, let's go to this page and let's put h1 here, edit product like this. And now let's see, if I go to products, edit, I don't see anything here, so something is wrong. Let's go to product form. Okay, we have product info with spread like this, so something didn't work. If I go here and I click edit, I don't see the information of this product, so something's wrong. Let's see,
We don't need the layout here. We have title. Okay, I think I know what's the problem. Here, we shouldn't display the form if this product info is not loaded. So let's do if we have product info, then let's do end, let's do parentheses, then we'll put this, right? Now, if I go to products, edit this one, now I see the data. If I go to this one, I see the data. I don't know why it's -2, but doesn't matter. Let's see other test 3. Yeah, test 4. Yeah, I think it looks fine. And test. Yeah, I think it works. But now we should be able to save a product. But inside this product form, we have Axios request to always post, to post a new product. And we don't want to post if we have an ID here passed. So here I will check if we have an ID, and let's maybe console log it. Console log _ID. And now let's see console here, and we have _ID here, but when we go to add new product, the _ID is undefined. So this way we can check here inside this function for create product. If we have _ID, then we should save update product, update. Otherwise, if we don't have an ID, we want to create the product. And this function should be named create product because it can either update or create. So let's rename it to save product. Yes, now here we have create, so we can actually put this, the code that we had, and even this redirection, I guess. But let's see, what do we want to do when we want to update? We want to send a request. So let's do await Axios, but we want to set a put request to /API/products. And we want to put data, but the data here will be actually the same data that we have here, except we want to put an ID to it. So I can copy it, paste it to here and add ID, or I can put it here at the top, and I don't need it here. I don't need it here because it's defined here on the top. But here, instead of just returning this data without ID, we will need this ID because we want to update a specific product. So I will spread the data like this, create a new project from data, and I will add _ID. Yes, and this way, when we will go now to API products, here we can check if the method is actually put, and if it is, we can grab stuff like this, but we will also have our _ID. So when we get _ID, and this is a put request, first we need to fetch the product, right? So let's do const, or maybe we don't even need to fetch the product. We just need to update the product. So let's do product, and let's do update 1 and parentheses. And first part is a filter, and the filter is an object. So our filter will be just ID. We can do ID equals ID like this, ID to be ID, but the name is the same, so we can do just object of _ID. The second part is what we want to update. So we want to update title, description, and price like this. And this is async function, so I will add await here. This is an object of title being title, description being description, but because the name of the property is the same as the variables here, I can do just title. But you should know what this creates, this object here. Right, and what the property names come from and the values. So I encourage you to test, and maybe here even I can show you that. Let's define A to be 4 or 5, and then we can create an object of A being A, and that this way we get an object A5, or we can create an object just A, and this will be the same result, A being 5. Right, but now we updated this product. Then what? Then let's respond with JSON of true to just say, yeah, it's updated, everything is fine. Right, now let's go to product form and let's see. After we updated the product, what do we want to do? Maybe we will tell that it's updated and everything works. And let's say that update was successful. And or maybe we can redirect to our products. Maybe let's do redirect part. So again, we will just do copy this and we can put it here, or we can get rid of those both and just after this is elf we can put it like this. Right, so let's go to products. Let's test this one. Let's do test old, or maybe test space old, and let's save. And as you can see, we have a new name here, test old. So everything worked. But now we should also add a delete button. So let's go to our products page, and let's see, here we have a link to edit. Let's add a link to delete. Let's say this links go to products edit. Let's create a link that will go to products delete. Because on this page I want to have let's put delete here. I want to have like a separate page or a pop-up. I think it would be better with a page. Do you really want to delete this product? So I'll put it like this. Yes. And now we need to make so it will not be 4. But before we'll do this, let's add an icon, trash icon. Let's do trash. I will copy JSX. I will put it here. It should be 4 by 4. And here let's put some spacing between those. So let's go back to our global styling and let's add margin right of 1. Yeah. Now if we click on this button, it will go just to products/delete/this, and it gives 4. So we need to create a new directory here called delete. Yes, why not? And let's do a new file. Same way, let's just do id.js. Yes, and here, as always, just export default function, delete product page, and here we will just return a layout. Inside this layout, let's say we'll have, do you really want to delete product X? Do you really want to delete product X? And then 2 buttons, a button that will say yes and button that will say no. Right? And this button with no, it will just run go back. It will go back to the products. So it's the function go back, and this go back, we need a router. So it's the const router equals use router, and here we'll just do router push and /products, and let's put it here on click. It will run go back. Yeah. But this delete, let's fix this X first, and let's see. Yeah, do you really want to delete product X? I will put it inside H1 like this, and now I will, instead of doing product X, I want to fetch the product name from this URL. So as always, I will need first the ID. So do const ID from router query, and then I need use effect to
do arrow function here, and the second param is array of dependencies, and I need ID here. If we don't have, if ID is undefined, then we'll just do return here. But if we have an ID, I want to do Axios get request to /API/products. And let's see, remember we can pass ID like this. And let's do plus ID. Then let's do we get response here. Let's do arrow function. Inside response data, we will have all the information about the product, but we need to put it inside the state. So let's do product info and set product info equals use state, and default can be undefined. And here we'll do set product info to this. Yes, and Axios is not defined. Let's import it. Axios, enter. Now it should be okay. Right, and here, before we will return, here we want to, instead of product X, we want to do product info dot title. But in case this is null, I want to add a question mark here. So do you really want to delete test old? I need to add a space here. Let's do NBSP, no breaking space. And I will put the name of this product inside apostrophes like this, or maybe like this. Yeah. And yeah, this should work. And now we have two buttons. I want to create some class names here so I can reuse them. So let's do button red, and here maybe class name of button default. Yeah, and let's see. I'll put it in separate lines so it will be easier to read. Yes. No. All right, and those two buttons I'll put inside the div with flex class name, and I will add a gap of 2 between the buttons. So let's put those buttons here. And now we need to fix the styling for button red, button default. I can add a Tailwind class names on those, but I would prefer to define it once and use it even for orders and other parts. So let's go to globals CSS and let's see. Let's do button red, and let's make it apply background red. Let's maybe try with 800, text white, and button not begin. Yeah, and now for the button default, I want to apply gray color. So let's do background gray 200. Yeah, something like this. And now on those both, so let's do button default and button red. On those both, I want to apply padding on the sides to be 4, and padding on the top, on the bottom of 1, and rounded corners. So let's do rounded medium. Yeah, something like this. I think this default button can be a little darker. So let's do 400 here, maybe 300, 400, 500. Yeah, and let's just do text white here. Yeah, I think this will work. Right, and let's maybe make it centered, the buttons. So let's go to delete, and here we have this div. Let's do justify and center. Yeah, and even for this title, I would like it to be centered, so I will add some class names like text center. Yeah, and that should work. And now when we click on AS, we need to add on click. So I'll put it here. Here I'll put on click. On click we will do delete product, and just like this. Let's put this function here, delete product, and we will just take this ID and we'll do axios dot delete. It will be a delete request, not a post, not a get, not a put. It will be a delete request to /API /products and question mark ID, and I will put ID like this. And we will do then, or maybe we can do await here because it's not inside UseEffects, so we'll do await, and I will make this one async. Await, and after we are done, we are going to do router. We can go to router push products, or we can just run this function, go back, so it will be easier. We can reuse it, right? So on click listener to be a function, let's see. Yeah, it should be without parentheses here. Yeah, so we have the we want to delete, and now let's go to our API products, and let's add a handle if method is actually delete. Then we want to do the same thing that we have for query. We want to we want to check if we have this ID inside URL. So let's grab it. If we have it, then we are going to delete it. So let's do await product delete one, and we want to delete where ID is this, where underscore ID, because in the Mongo database they are using underscore IDs for the IDs. So if the I want to delete one where underscore ID is this ID, and then I would do response JSON true, right? And as you can see here, for all products we have underscore IDs inside our database. So now let's try with hitting this yes. Let's see if this will work. Yes, as you can see, we don't have our old product. Let's try again with test2, delete, yes, and we don't have test2 anymore. All right, so this works. We can now edit our products. Let's do test 3.1, and let's save it here, and we have 3.1. So the next part will be actually that here inside our product we need one important thing, which is images. We need photos of our products. So this is what we are going to fix now. So let's go to our product form, and here this product form, as you remember, it's used for both adding new product and editing existing products. So here we have save product. Here we have some state for description, price, go to description, price, and title. And here we have our form, and somewhere here in between, maybe under the product name, we want to add photos. So let's add a label without HTML4, and in this label we will put just photos. And all right, and under, let's put the div, and under this we want to show all the photos, and we want to have a button, upload new photo. So I think next to these photos, I want to have a small button that will be upload more photos. So let's do something like this. In this div, I want to display all the photos. So how can I know if we have photos? We should have this as a property here. So let's call this property photos, maybe images, product images. Yes, so we are going to call it images. And here inside this div, let's check if we don't have images length, then let's do and parenthesis, and here I will just print a string saying or maybe a div saying no photos in this product. Yeah, so we have no photos in this product. And under this div I want to add margin bottom of 2, so we have some spacing. And next to this photos thing I want to have maybe a button here next to this photos, or we can maybe put a button here. And I think it would be better to put it here. So we'll have like a squares of photos, and the last square will be a button to add the new more photos. So here let's add a div, or not a div, it should be a button, right? So let's do a button, and let's add some class names here. So each square should be a width of let's say 8 and a height of 8 as well. And let's add some small border. Yeah, so you also can see it's this small, and we should probably make it bigger. So let's do 32, 32 and 32. Yeah, so now it's this big. Maybe it's too big. Let's change it to 24. Yeah, now I think it looks better. Inside this button I want to have like upload text, and I want to have an icon, or maybe only an icon. Let's do upload, yeah, this one, and let's put it here, and let's see how it looks like. Yeah, kind of okay. Let's put it text center. Didn't work. Maybe if we do flex, and let's do items center, yes. But now I also want to do justify center, yeah, something like this. But I think that this text upload can be inside a separate line, so I'll put it inside the div. Let's see, didn't work. Maybe because we can just change this to flex call to column, and now we have something like this. Is it better? I don't know. Let's put it back. And let's make the text smaller. So let's do text SM. Yeah, and let's add some gap between those two. Gap 1. Yeah, and let's make the text gray. Gray 300. Maybe darker so we can see it. 500. Yeah, something like this. And we want to make it rounded. So let's do rounded medium. So each square will have rounded corners. Maybe we can do actually large, right? And let's add some background color. Let's do background gray of 300 or 200, and probably we don't need a border anymore, so let's get rid of this border. Yeah, no, and I think it looks fine. Now when I click on this upload, I would like to open a window to actually pick a file. So to fix it, I will actually change this button to a label like this. Nothing has changed because we have a lot of classes here. And inside this label or this button, this square, I will put an input of type file. And now we have this input of type file here, but now I'll make it hidden. Let's do class name and class name hidden, right? So now it's not visible, but because we have this label outside of this input of type file, when I click on this label, it will open this file picking thing window. So now to upload photos, I will go here on the top and I will define the function upload photo, upload image. but it's just an empty function. And this function will be run when our input of type file will change. So let's add on the, maybe somewhere here, on change. On change, we will do upload image, maybe images. So let's rename it here as well. Upload images. Yeah. In case there are several files selected. Right. And we will get an event here. Right. So now I will first console log this event to see what do we have inside. I need to select files. So let's do upload. And one thing, I want to have an hand icon when I hover with my mouse here. So here, let's do cursor pointer, and that should work. Let's see. Yes, it does. Right, so here, upload images. Now let's see. I will select this frog, and here we have our event, and we have target, and inside target we should have all the files here somewhere. Here, files. So I will grab it. Let's do const files equals event target files. Let's add a question mark in case it doesn't exist. And then let's check if we have any files here. So let's do files dot length. Let's check that length is bigger than 0. Then we know we have something to upload. I will add a question mark here in case files is undefined or null. And now we want to upload those files. So how can we do this? So to send all those files, I will send them as form data. So instead of sending JSONs as we always do, I will define here data that will be not a JSON, not an object. It will be, well, it will be an object, but it will be an object of new form data, like this. So it will be easier to parse it on the backend side. So let's do new form data, and let's now put inside all the files. So let's do let's do const file of files. So for each file, let's put it inside, or maybe we can do files for each, and for each file, we'll just do data append file to be file. Yes. And then we want to, after we added all the files, we want to send an Axios request. And well, we want to just upload this those images. So I think we can create a separate API route for this called upload. So I'll do a new file here inside API, and it will be just upload.js. All right. But let's go back to product form for now. Axios, it will be, let's say it will be a post request to /API/upload. And this endpoint is going to just give us links to those images after we have uploaded them. We are not going to update our product here. We are just uploading photos. All right. And after we upload the photos, we want to show them here. And after we hit save, those photos will be saved to this product. So let's do this. We want to do Axios post with our data here. But this is async function, so I will add a wait here, and I will mark this one as async. And we actually want to grab data from the response. So let's do const response equals this, and let's just console log, maybe not the whole, we don't need the whole response, but I will grab only data from here, or maybe let's do response, and let's do response data here.
right? And now, let's see. Now we need to fix this upload endpoint. So let's go here. Now here, the upload is a little bit complicated, but not that much. So stay with me. So let's do, as always, just a handler for this API endpoint. So let's do export default. We can put async function, and let's do handle. And here just request and response like this. And what's the next part? The next part is actually we want to tell Next.js to don't parse our request. Instead, we want to parse it ourselves. So let's do export const. Export const, I think it was config equals object. And we want to pass to API a config on the API. We want to do body parser to false, like this. Yes, and now we should have a raw data inside our request, so it will not try to parse our request to JSON. All right. Now, to get files from our request, we are going to use a library called multi-party. Sounds really awesome. It's for parsing multi-part form data parser, which supports streaming. So as you remember, we have this form data that we used here for gathering our files, form data, and here form data. So now this is what we are going to use for upload. So let's do open here, and let's do yarn add multi-party. Sounds really awesome. Now let's go back here to our handle, and let's use multi-party. I think we need to put it here. So let's do import multi-party from multi-party like this. Now it's imported. And now on multi-party, we have a function called form. We just need to call it like this, and it will be, let's return it to a form. Right. So this is kind of initiation. And now on this form, we can do parse like this. And we want to parse our request. And here we'll have an async callback. An async because I don't need to put async for now, but we will do async stuff here inside, so that's why I put it, but I can put it later. And in this callback, we'll have an errors and the fields and the files in this callback. So let's maybe just put console log here, and in case we have any files. Let's see how many files we have here. So let's do files.length. Yeah, that's it. And here I will just do response JSON. Okay. Yes. And here I forgot to put new. Right. Here I will refresh, and let's see. I will upload this part. And let's see, for each is not a function. Right, so it looks like files is not actually an array. So let's see, let's go to products form. And we have files here, we have length on this, but let's change that. We'll do for loop. So let's do for file of files. Let's do const file of files. And let's do just this data append file to be this. So I can put it like this, and I can remove this. Right, I will refresh, and I will try to upload again. Let's see, maybe this frog, open. It says okay. Let's see if we have anything here. We get undefined. Let's see, why upload. Files length looks like is undefined. Let's maybe put length colon
and let's add a comma here, and let's try again. I will try again. I will upload this one, make it okay. Length is undefined. All right, just in case, we will check if we have any errors. If we have an error, then we will throw this error. Yeah, I will try to upload once again. Let's see here. We don't have anything inside the files. Let's maybe see if we have anything inside our fields. Yeah, let's see. Upload, open. Length is undefined, and this is an empty object. Let's see how we are sending this. Upload. We have payload. The file is binary, so everything looks fine here. Let's see if we have any error here. Okay, it says API resolved without sending a response. Let's see why. We are sending a response. Let's do even a return here. And I will try to upload something once again. API resolved without sending a response, or API upload. But here, when we open upload, we have preview of OK. So this is kind of wrong, but I don't mind this. Warning. I think that the way to actually hide this message will be to return a promise here. So let's see. I would do return new promise, and here we'll have resolve and reject, and we will put all this here inside. And if we have an error, we will do reject with this error. Otherwise, we will do resolve with fields and files as an object. Right, and like this. Now, instead of returning this promise, I would just grab the fields and the files from new promise, and I will remove it from here so I can put it here. And now we shouldn't have this warning. So let's see. I will refresh, upload this, and something didn't work. Let's see, files from new promise. Okay, I forgot about wait here. And now let's try again. Upload this, open, and we are back here without this warning. All right, so looks like our files is empty. Maybe we need to restart it. So I'll try again. And now if I will upload anything, let's see, upload this. Do we have anything? No, length is still undefined. I think this is wrong because inside our product form, we need to tell Axios to not try to send it as JSON. Let's see. Here we have this upload, we have payload, it's a form data, but we need to probably add some extra headers here. So instead of doing the request like this, I will add extra headers here. So let's do extra param here, and I will put headers, and it will be an object as well. Here I will put content dash type, and I will put content type of multi-part form data. I think this is the thing that we need for our multi-party to work. So let's go back here, and I think this is the only header we need. So let's try to upload again. Hello, and it didn't work. I will try maybe to send it with fetch instead. So let's do fetch, and it will go to /API/upload,
And here we'll have a lot of more info. I will wait here as well. And the method will be post, and the body will be data. And here we'll get the response. And here we will not have any data, we'll have only response. But let's try to upload it as a fetch, but still undefined. Anyway, goes to /API/upload. Let's see, upload files length is undefined. Let's maybe try with only files. Yes, I will do upload here of this one. Okay, and here we have some information. So we have path to this file, and it's inside this files. So there is actually information about this file, but I don't know why it was undefined. Maybe because we checked for the object, and object length is undefined. We would need to check files dot file dot length, and then it will work. Let's see. I will upload this one, then we will have length of 1. Right, so inside our file, or maybe it should be named files, by the file we have an array of files. So let's grab it. Let's maybe put let's maybe do a for each here. So we don't need to console log fields. We want to do only upload. So we already uploaded here this photo. I can probably open it in my browser. But the problem is we don't want to have it like in the temporary storage like var or tmp. And instead, we want to upload it to a persistent storage like S3. So I will go to my console on AWS and I will create a bucket to upload it to S3. So I will just quickly log in. And now I will go to S3 buckets and I will create a new bucket called maybe next e-commerce. Yes, and create a bucket, and this looks fine. I need to do ACLC enabled, and let's see, I will not block all public access because I want those files to be publicly available. And yes, and that's it. I will create this bucket. Okay, this one already exists. I will do Next.js e-commerce. Okay, it needs to be unique. So I will name it David Next e-commerce. Now I'll create this bucket. All right, now I need to create a user for this bucket so I can upload from the code. So I will go to here and security credentials. And now I will create a new user for my bucket, only for this one bucket. I will do add users, and let's call this user same. Let's do David Next e-commerce and this, and let's do next. And I want to just attach a policy that I'm going to create now. I want to create a policy specifically for this one bucket. So for services, I will find just S3 actions. Let's do all actions, and let's close this one. Resources, I will select any for now, but only for now, on almost everything except the bucket, because on this bucket I want to specify that it should be only David Next e-commerce bucket that this policy should apply on. Let's do next, and the name of the policy will be policy. Let's call it S3 David next e-commerce. Yeah, let's create this policy, and now it's created. So now we can go here and we can refresh policies, and let's search for David next, and we have David. We have policy S3 David next. It's this one. I will just double check. Yes, it's this one. Next, create user, and now we have our user. So it's this one, David next e-commerce. I will open it, and now we have security credentials here, and we have access keys, and I want to generate access keys. Here we have many different options, but many of those will give us the same result. And I will select here, I guess, third-party service, maybe not, application running outside AWS. Yes, let's do next. Just create access key, and we have access key and secret access key. Now we need to put those inside our env file. So here, let's add S3 access key equals string, and let's copy this one like this, and now S3, and let's do secret access key, and I will copy this one, and let's put inside parentheses like this. And now we have everything. Let's click down here and continue. And now let's try to upload to our S3 bucket. I will go back to our Pages API upload. And as you remember, here inside this files file, we have information about our files that we want to put now inside the S3. So I will open our new bucket here. Let's do S3. I will open this, and let's go to our bucket. It was called something David next e-commerce. As you can see, it's empty, but now we are going to upload some stuff inside. So to upload to S3 client, we are going to need to install more things. And it will be S3 client that we need here. So let's do yarn add, and let's do here @AWS SDK / client S3, because we need only client S3. Let's hit enter, and I can actually grab it like this to import this here. So let's do import. And we're going to import from this. And the thing that we are going to need is actually S3 client. And now we can define using this function. So here, let's define our client. Let's do const client equals new S3 client. And here just options inside. And the options that we need is region. And I think I picked the region of, I think the region was default US East 1. And maybe we can even check it here. I don't know if it's somewhere here or here on the buckets. Let's do David, and let's say next e-commerce. Yes, US East 1. So that's correct. We have region. What else do we need? We need the credentials. So the credentials will be an object. And here inside credentials, we need access key ID. That will be a string, and we need also secret access key. And both of those, we have them inside .env. So we can just do process.env .s3 access key, and here we can do process.env secret access key. Yeah, so we have our client ready, and now we can use our client to do stuff. And the only thing we want to do with our client is to send, and we want to send actually a command. This is the way they they call it, you're sending a command to with your client. So here we will just do new, and we will do new put object. I don't know why I have so much here. Object command. Yes, let's import it from client 3. And this has been imported here for me. Put object command. And here we need to put an object of information. And here first we need to put the name of the bucket. And the name of the bucket will be David Next e-commerce. But I think we can put it somewhere else, maybe here on the top, maybe here on the top. The const, and let's do a bucket name to be a string of this. This way we can do just bucket name like this. Right, so we have bucket. Now we need a name of our file. So to put name, we use a key to this file. Right, so how we want our name to look like. We have our original name, hello.jpg, but we don't want to use original name. Why? Because if we upload two files with the same file name, then we'll have a problem. We want to have unique file names. So from the original file name, I'm going to pick only the extension, and this part I'm going to generate random string. Right, so to do this, I will first here create a loop for all files. Here we have the files. Let's do for file, let's do const file of files.file. And now let's just put, we can put this client actually here above. We can define it only once. When it comes to sending, we need to send this for every file. Right, now I will put a wait here because it's async function. And now we want to define the key. So inside this file, we have object of file information, and we want to put get original file name first. So from the original file name, we want to get the extension, this JPEG. So how we can do this? We need to grab original file name, and we want to split it by a dot, and we want to take the second part. So let's do something like this. Let's do const extension equals file dot original, let's see, original file name dot split, but using dot. And let's take the last part. I think we can do this with pop. Let's see what pop is doing. Pop method removes the last element from an array and returns that element. That's awesome. Right, so maybe we can now just do console log of extension and file to see if everything works, and we'll just comment this put command for now. We want to see if it works. So I will just quickly refresh here. Let's do upload hello JPEG. Let's open here. Let's see. We have extension JPEG, so this worked, and we have file with all this information. So that is really nice. All right, so let's uncomment this part, and let's continue with our key, which will be our new file name. Let's define our new file name, and we want something random string, and then we want to add the dot, and then we want to add the extension. But here on the beginning, we want to have random numbers or something. So I will actually use just date.now. It will give us a timestamp, and maybe I will also add a dash, and I will
No, I think date now would be good enough. I don't think it's really that possible that two people will upload files in the same millisecond. So well, this will work. Or you can also add something from here. This is unique as well. So we could maybe do MD5 of this string, but date now will be good enough with just timestamp. In case you need something even more unique, you can maybe add MD5 of this. So it will be even more unique. The file name will be even more unique. All right, but now we can use new file name here as a key to the file. So we have a bucket, we have a key, but we need to tell what's the content of the file. So let's do body of the file, and to grab the body, we need to read this file. And to read this file, we need to import fs from fs file system library. So we do fs read file sync. We don't want to read it asynchronously, we just want to do it synchronously. And let's read this file, and we need path to this file. The path is here, so we can just do file.path. Yes, okay, so we have bucket, key, body. We want to also add ACL to be public read, so the file will be publicly available, and we can just return a link directly to this bucket file. And the last thing that we need here is actually content type. Because S3 likes to have the more information about the file, what type of file it is, if it's a JPEG or what it is. The problem here is I cannot guess if it's always a JPEG or if it's always an image. So I'm going to add another library, and this library is called MIME types. And let's see, yarn add MIME types. And what it does, it just reads the file and checks the MIME types. So let's do import MIME. Let's call it just MIME from MIME types. MIME types. Yeah, we will call it MIME here. And here, content type, and just do MIME. And let's do lookup and just file.path. Right, and this should work. Now, after we uploaded the file, let's maybe grab a link to this file. So the const link equals, and now to get link here, it will be just https / the name of the bucket. So let's put here bucket name and .s3 Amazon AWS.com / Amazon AWS / and here the new file name. So let's do just new file name. Yeah, and now we want to grab all the links in case we have several files. So let's do const links equals array, and here let's just do links push new link and this, and here instead of okay, let's just do links. Yeah, and now let's see if this will work. I'll clear this. Let's upload one photo of this parrot. Open, and it says it's pending. Okay, I think it worked now. Let's see. Preview. We have links. We have this one link. Let me select it. Let's open new tab. Let's see, and we have parrot with our link here. All right, so this worked. Now, when we are done with the upload part, we can display every uploaded file, right? So let's go back to product form, and we are
doing this response here with the response. We are console logging the response. Actually, we don't need this fetch here. We can change it back to Axios post, and we don't need this, and we can just put the data like this, data, and this should still work. And now inside response we have this data that we can check, but we need to add a weight here. I will just try again to see if everything works. Let's upload this frog, and yeah, we got something here. We have one link. Yeah, everything works. So inside data we have links, so we can just grab it and add it to our state. So let's create a state for our photos. Let's put maybe here. Let's do const photos. Sorry, it should be called images. Images, set images, use state, and the default will be an empty array. But as you can see here, we are also passing this as a property in case we are editing an existing product. So let's rename this property to existing images, and let's put it here, existing images or empty array. Right, and now we can actually use it here after uploading. And let's see here. Here we'll do set images. We will grab the old images, and we'll do arrow function like this. And here we'll just return all the images as an array like this. And we will also spread new links here, all right? But links come from response data links like this. This way it will create a new array with all the images inside and new links here. So all the links and new links. Right, so now let's scroll down here and let's see. Here we have those squares. Here we have this upload button, this big. Let's maybe go here, and before this upload button, let's check if we have images length. I will do question mark here, and I will check if it's bigger than 0, or maybe I don't even need to check if it's bigger than 0, because if it's bigger than 0, then this will be true. And then I can do images map to map through those images. And every image, it will be actually just a link. So I'll put link this, and let's put a div with the link, right? And now it says it's 0 because this thing returns 0. I can change it to Boolean by just doing bang bang here, converting this to Boolean false because length is 0. And now let's see. If I select one, let's do hello JPEG. I picked this image, and now it's uploading. It takes a few seconds, but now, as you can see, I get this link, and I get here an warning because I forgot about key here. So I'll put key to be actually this link. So we will not have this warning anymore. But now, instead of showing this as a link, I would like to show this as an image. So instead of link, let's just do img, and the source will be just link, like this. And now we'll have like a big image here. But to fix it, I will just make this div class name to, let's make it height of 24, like this. And now the image inside should have styling of max wave 100%, but I will put it here inside globals. So globals, and let's put that for all images, max height should be 100%. Yeah, so now it's here. Let's go back, and let's see. I will also add that this div should be inline block. Yes. And this label here should be inline block as well. But now they are not next to each other. And I'm not really sure why. Maybe it will be easier to just change those to regular elements, but I will add here instead flex. And I will also add flex wrap in case there are too many elements, and I will add a gap of 2. So there will be some spacing between those. And for each image that we are displaying, I will do rounded corners on the images. So let's do class name. Let's do rounded. I think it should be medium or maybe large. Let's do large, the same that we did for the button here, this upload button. And well, this looks fine. So now when I have this one image here, when I hit save here, I want to add this link of this photo to my products, to my product. Where is it? It's here, to my test-free, for example, product. But I don't have it inside my schema here, so let's add it. Let's add that images will be of type string with capital S. That is. It will not be required, it will be just type string. That's it. Right, and now images will be actually a JSON here inside. So yeah. Or maybe I can even change this to type array of string, like this. But now let's go to our API/products. And here where we are putting this, or where we are creating product, we need to grab images here. And we need to grab images even here, right? And we just need to add those, right? So let's do images here and the images here, and let's see if this will work. So now if I hit save here, and I don't know if it worked. I think it was this one. I will check the database maybe first. So let's refresh this one. And let's see, products, we have 2 products, we don't have any images here. I think this is because we are not sending this from product form. Here we have this save product, but we don't have any images. So let's do images like this, and it's the same as our state, so we should work like this. I can close probably some tabs here. But now let's try to upload some photos, for example this frog. I'll click open, and even when I'm uploading, it takes some time. Maybe we can add information about this, that it's uploading, so we will know. Here we have this upload images function, but before we'll do this upload, let's check if it works. I will click save. I'll go back here, and I don't know if it worked. I will do refresh and products, and let's see. No, we don't have it. Let's see here inside network if we actually send it. We have here products put. Let's see payload. We have images here, and we have one image, one link here. Let's see if everything here inside product is okay. Maybe it shouldn't be like this, but instead it should be an array of type string. Let's try this way. I think it should be this way. Let's do upload. Let's take this one, and now it should be uploaded. Yes, it's uploaded. Let's save it. Let's go back.
I don't see it, but let's check our database here. Still nothing here inside images. Let's see our API products. Here we have our put, here we have our images, and we are putting this as images here. But just in case, I will first do console log and print images here to be sure that we are getting this. So here, let's try to, I will refresh here, I will upload maybe this parrot, and let's hit save, and we have images and one link. Maybe it's because I need to restart this, and I will do yarn dev again. I have also here, let's see, let's do edit here, let's do upload, let's pick this file, and now I will click save, and let's check our database. I will do refresh somewhere here, refresh, and let's see, yes, now we have images. Yeah, so it worked, we just needed to restart. So I can remove this console log, and I can remove console log from upload that I forgot about. Let's remove this one. Right. But now let's see, if I open this one, I see the current images, and I see also upload button, and I can upload more photos. Let's maybe go to this one, and maybe you can get rid of this text. So let's go back to product form, and let's see, no photos. We can remove this part, we don't need this. And the next thing is actually that we wanted to have an indicator when we are uploading something. So here we have upload images, and when something is uploading, what do we want to do? Let's say that we will have a box here on the beginning, or maybe on the end, here between the last image and the upload, a box with a spinner, right? So let's see, if we are uploading something, let's update state. Let's go here and let's define state is uploading, and set is uploading, default will be false. And here inside our upload function, on the beginning we will do set is uploading to true, and on the end here set is uploading to false, right? And now here in between, let's go. Here we are looping through the existing images. Here in between we'll check if we have is uploading to be true, then array div, and we want to have something like this. So I will just do, let's see, I will do just height of 24, class name, let's do class name, and like this, and text inside will be uploading, or maybe we should have a preload or something like this. So a spinner. So let's do React spinners. I think it's this one. Let's check demo page. Yeah, I think I will use this. And well, you can use what type of spinner you want to use. And I think I will go with this path. Yeah, I will go with this path loader, or maybe something more basic, bounce loader. Right, so let's add React spinners. So let's do yarn add React spinners, and this. And there are, let's see, React spinners, yes. And there are, I guess, some type of, I will use bounce loader, but there are some things that you can pass, like size, color, speed. So I will actually create a separate component for this.
I'll create a component called spinner.js, and here let's just do export default function spinner, and it will just return parentheses, and I think it was mine was bounce loader. You can pick a different one, and I want to pass information like color, so let's do color, and to pick the color I will just pick the color from my page here. I want to use the same color, so it should be black. Something went wrong here. It should be this one, so let's put it like this, and let's put speed multiplier 2, so maybe it will be faster or something, and let's now put it back here. So if we have an upload, let's see, no, here is the button to upload, here's uploading. Here I will just show our spinner, yes, and let's see how it looks like. I will upload maybe my parrot here. Yeah, it's something like this. I want to add some padding and gray box to this, so let's do the same background gray thing here, and I will also want to add padding of 1. I want to make it flex, and I want to do items center, so it will be centered. And let's try again. Let's pick this frog. Yeah, I forgot about rounded corners, and maybe I don't need this gray background, so I will put it like this. I will not save it. I will just go back here, and I will try to upload again, but before I want this space to be a little smaller, so I will just do gap 1 instead. Yeah, let's see now. I will pick maybe this parrot again. Let's see. Yeah, and it's uploading, so I guess it looks fine, and we get a parrot here, so everything looks fine. So we have an indication that we are uploading, so this works. All right, now it would be nice to be able to sort those images with drag and drop. So for example, let me try to upload another image, for example this frog, and I would like this frog to be the first picture here image, and it would be nice to just drag and drop it to the first place. So to do this, we will install another dependency. I will go to my terminal, and I will yarn add React sortable JS. Right, and now let's see. Here we have our images, and we want to be able to sort them. So first, let's import our React sortable. I will go here, and I will do import React sortable from React sortable JS. And now let's put it here above our images. So here we have a div for images, and for each specific image, here we have a main div for images and spinner and the button for upload. So somewhere here, let's use our React sortable. Yes, and the closing tag should go underneath, and now let's see, can't resolve sortable JS. Let's see here. Okay, it's because we need both React sortable and sortable JS, so I will add this one as well. Yeah, now the problem is that we need to pass the list of elements. So let's put list, and our list of elements will be just images. Yeah, now we need a set list. So let's do, for now, set list will be a function that we'll create. It will be called update images order, something like this. Of course, we need to create it. So maybe here, let's do a function update images order, and we will just do console log arguments to see what we get inside. Right, and now as you can see, the CSS looks weird because on our React sortable, maybe I will put this into separate line and I will add some indentation here. And we need some styling here. So for our React sortable, I will add some class names here as well. And let's start with flex and flex wrap. And let's see, now it's better. Now we will just add our gap one. Now it looks better. And now as you can see, we can kinda sort them. We just need to handle this function that we are just console logging stuff. So let's see, we get 3 arguments in this function, inside the arguments. And the first is elements. And the second is just a div that is above. And the third is just dragging some information about what's happening. So basically we just need the first argument. So let's put it here, images, and let's just print images, right? And I will refresh. Let's see. Yeah, now we are just getting images. So I guess we just need to take this images as a param, and we need to set it back to our images here to set images. First, let's see how the images look like. So I will go to, let's see, here we have edit product page and edit product page. And let's see, here we have product form. And here we have props images, and it's just 2 links, and that's it. So we can just go back here and we can just set images with those new images. So let's do set images and these new images that are sorted now, right? And I will just refresh just in case. And now let's see, does it work? Yes, I can put it as a second. I will add this frog back here. Yes. So now we have 3 images, and let's say I will make this frog as the first image. I will save it, and let's go back to our product. Our frog is first. Let's now put our part first, and the frog should be the last one. Let's save it, and let's go back, and looks like everything just works. One error we have here, each child in a list should have a key, and I think it's inside the products. So let's go to our products, not here, it should be inside here, inside our component. We are listing our products, and here we need a key. So let's say it will be just product underscore ID. So now if we go to products, we don't get any error. And it's underscore ID because from database, it's always underscore IDs here. All right, now another thing that we need to add here in our dashboard panel is actually categories, because each product needs to have a category. So I will create a separate navigation item here. So let's go to components, navigation, and let's see, here we have many different links, and I think I will just copy the products part, copy the products link. I will just rename it to categories, and I will change the icon. So I'll open back hero icons, and let's see, let's search for maybe a list, and I think we can just take this one, and I will just paste it here, and let's see, now it should work. Yeah, we have products and categories, but let's see, categories should have slash categories as a link, and it should be it should have active link class only if the path name includes categories. Yeah. And now let's see, if we go to categories, of course we get an 404 error because we didn't create the page yet. But let's do this now. Let's go to pages, new, let's do file, categories.js. And the same way we have with products. Let's see, we just need here layout, and that's basically it. So let's go to categories and let's create a function here, export default function, categories. Let's add page here. I think we are doing this page in all other. Now we are just doing products, right? Let's just do then categories. Categories. Here let's do return, and here inside, as always, just layout, and it has been imported for me, so that's nice. And here maybe on the top, let's just do categories like this. And now we have our categories page. And now the first form, the first thing we need is a form to create a new category. So I guess we can just have an input. So let's say input, it will be a text, and let's say that we'll have a placeholder, but inside placeholder we will have just category name. Yeah, something like this. Would be maybe nicer to have also a label like here. So let me quickly check here, product form, and we just have a label, and that's it. So let's do this, categories, and let's add a label here, but under this h1, and we don't need this HTML4. Let's do just label, category name. Yes, let's go to categories, or maybe just new category name. Yeah, and we need a save button, maybe next to our input here on the right side. So I will just do a div with class name flex, and let's put this input here, and a button that will just do save. Yeah, so we have our button, but on our button we need to add some class names. Let's add our button primary class name that we created before. So we have a big button here. Let's add a small gap of 1 here, and let's fix the padding on our button, padding on the top and the bottom to be just 1. Right, looks like this didn't change anything. Let's see our button here. Okay, now our button looks really weird, but I guess it's because our input has a margin bottom here. So let's remove this. On our input, let's do class name, and let's do margin bottom of 0. Okay, now our input is the same height as the button, so that's fine. Let's put our form in actually a form tag, so it will be easier to add on submit here, and the button will be type of submit here, just in case. And we can of course just do like this, submit. It doesn't really matter, but we need to add here on submit. It just will have a function called save category, and let's add it here, function save category, just an empty function for now. And now if we want to save a new category, we just need a name from here. So let's add first state for our input, because as you can see inside our input we don't have any state. So let's do this. So let's do const name and set name equals use state, and default will be empty string. Now for our input we will just need to add value name, and well, I can put those into separate lines so it will be easier to read. But otherwise we need also set on on change, we will do event. With event, we'll do set name of event target value. So now we have state that's updating and it's inside our name. And now when we click save or when we hit enter, this save category will run. And let's try to save our first category name. So the same way we did it with product form. As you can see, we are just doing Axios and put or post. And we will use post because it's for creating. And let's go back to categories and just do Axios. And let's do post to /API/categories. And then we need to put data. Let's just put our name here. And that's basically it. So now we can add a wait here and async here, because then it will be an async function. And then let's think, what do we want to do after it's created? Well, after it's created, maybe for now, let's just remove the category name. So the input will be empty again. So let's do just set name to empty string, and that's it. Later, we will also print all the categories here, and we will also refresh this list when we create a new category. But for now, let's just create a category. So, of course, we need to first add this endpoint. So let's go to Pages API, and here let's do a new file, categories.js. And here inside, just do export default function, and it will be handle as for all the API handlers. And as always, we just get here request and response, right? And let's quickly check for the products. As you can see, we can just grab the method from the request, and then we just connect to the database. Right, so let's do the same thing here inside categories. Let's grab method from request method. So we can do this like this, or we can just put this method inside this curly brackets. Right, then if the method is actually a post, then what do we want to do? We want to create a new category. So let's grab the name that we are sending. So let's do const name equals request body. So we are grabbing name from request body. And then what? Then we want to create a category inside our database. So inside our models, we need to create a new model for categories. So let's do this. Let's do new file, and let's call this one just category.js. And first we need to create schema. So it's the const category schema equals a new schema. And it has been imported for me, so that's nice. And now let's put an object with schema. So the only thing that we need for now is just a name. And the name will be just a string. And that's it. We can actually just make it type string, and we can add that it's required just to be sure it's not empty. But that's basically it. Now we can define model, same way we did with our product. Let's just do const and category equals, and first we need to check it if it's already defined inside models. Let's check if we have category here, category. Otherwise, we will just call the model function. With first param is the name of the model, so just category, and the second param is just the schema, so category schema. And that's it. We can now just export it like this, and now we can use it inside our categories API endpoint. So now let's import it. I will do category category. It has been imported for me. And now we want to just do create, and we want to create with our name. So we want to put a new category with just a name. We just have one property there. And we need to add a weight here. And I will also add async here because when we use a weight, we need to add async on the parent function. And then this will actually just return a new category document from our database. So I will do like this, and I will just respond with this category document from the database. And now let's see if it works. So I'll put here test C for test category. I will open network to see how it works. I'll hit save, and this didn't work. Let's see why. I know why, because inside our categories page on submit, we are running this function, but we forgot to grab event and do prevent default. And now let's try again. Test C2, save, and I think it worked. As you can see, inside the response, we get our category document from database. So let's see. I will refresh here our database. Let's go to categories. And as you can see, we have two categories here. So maybe I can just delete one of those, or maybe not. Let's maybe just display them both here underneath. So under the form, let's maybe just create a table with existing categories. So first let's add T head, and the first row will be just a row with category name as a column name here. And we had some basic stylings for tables. So let's go to globals and let's see it. We have this called basic. So I will use it now. So back to categories, I will add here class name basic. Yeah, maybe even margin top of 2 from the top, maybe 4. Right, now I would like to fetch categories from the database and put them into state. So I want to do a Axios get request and just grab all the categories. So let's add this here inside categories. I want to check maybe somewhere here if the method is a get request. Then I want to grab all the categories from the database. But before we do this, I forgot about one thing here, and it's about Mongoose connection. So I will add Mongoose connect, and I will add a wait here. And it worked even without this Mongoose connect, but that's because only we were doing other requests at the same time. So if you are using a database in any function, you need to always add Mongoose connect to connect to the database in case you are not connected. All right, but now back to our get. We want to just grab all the categories. So let's do response JSON, and here we just want to grab all the categories. So let's do a category find without any params. But here we just need to add a wait, and that's basically it. And this should work. Now let's go back to our pages categories. And when this component mounts, we want to fetch all the categories. So for this, we are going to use effect. So do use effect. First param is an arrow function or just a function, and the second param is dependencies. We want this to run when this component mounts, so that's why our dependencies will be just an empty array. But here we will do Axios get /API /categories, and that's basically it. Then we will get result, and with this result, let's add an arrow function, and inside the result, we have this data, and inside this data we should get the JSON with all the categories. So now let's put them inside our state. Maybe here categories, and set categories, use state, and let's say default will be empty array. And now here we can just do set categories, and let's put them inside. Right, now we should be able to list them here. So let's put tbody element here, and here let's map through our categories. So let's do if categories length is bigger than 0, and then let's do categories map, and here we want to do just category arrow, and I will put parentheses here, and here inside I will just put not the div but tr. Sorry, it should be tr, like this. If I make this window bigger, you can see how it looks like. So if we have categories with length bigger than 0, then we are doing categories.map, and with category we are just doing parentheses, and inside parentheses we are just doing tr, so table row, and we have one column with only category name. So let's do just category.name, and let's see, looks like we are getting our categories here. So another thing we need to do is to able to actually edit and delete them. But before we do this, there's another thing that we need to add to our categories, and it's a parent category. So let's say we want to add a category called headset, or maybe just iPhone. Maybe let's start with phones, mobiles. Let's do mobiles. Let's save it. Yeah, and the first thing, we want to refresh our table when we create new categories, because now I need to refresh manually to see mobiles. So let's fix this first. Here, where we create our categories, we are just setting the name to empty to clear this input, but we want also to run this. So the easiest thing will be just to remove this from here, and let's create a new function called fetch categories, and inside I will just space it, and this should run here, fetch categories, and it should run also here underneath. So let's do fetch categories, right? And now I created mobiles, but let's say I want to also add iPhones. And I want iPhones to be actually the child category of mobiles. So the iPhones should go below mobiles. So the thing that we actually need is to have a select here, drop down, to select a parent category. And we need to add a select box somewhere here. So maybe between this input and this button. So let's do this here. Here we have our input. Here we have a button. Let's put a select box. And I will remove this name and ID. And the first default option, or maybe we shouldn't put options like this. Or maybe let's put options here. The first option will be no parent category. And let's say the value will be 0. So now we have no parent category, and the styling doesn't work here, but we can go to our global styling, and let's see, here we have input text area. Let's add select. So now it looks a little better. Let's also add it here. So select focus. Now, as you can see, this select got this margin bottom to as well. So I will go back to pages categories, and on our select I will add class names as well, and it will be margin bottom 0, so it will have the same height here. Right, but now we need to add more options here, and here our options will be actually all the categories that we have here inside our list. So let's do, if we have categories, or maybe we can just copy paste what we have here. So let's put it here, but instead of tr, we will just put an option, and the option value will be category dot underscore id, and here we'll put category dot name. Right, and it has been it's wrapping my code, but let's see. As you can see, we have everything here inside, and if I open this select here, we are getting those IDs, and the first has a value of 0. Maybe we can just remove to make it empty, so the value will be empty. But now we need to have this as a value as well on our select. So let's put a state here for our, we have for name, now we need to have a state for our parent category, and set parent category, use state, and the default will be just an empty string. And when we change, we need to add here value will be parent category, and I'll put it into different line, and here I will also add on change. We grab the event and we do set parent category with event target value. Right, now let's see if this works, if I can change it. Yes. But now when I hit save with a category name here and a selected parent category here, I need to have I need to send this parent category as well. So let's see, here we have save category. Let's add parent category here as well to our endpoint, and now we need to handle it inside our API categories. So let's see here, when we do a post request, we are grabbing name. Let's also grab parent category. Yes, and let's just put it here, parent category. And of course we need to add it inside our category model. So we can just put parent category here, or maybe because we know it's a category collection, maybe we can just call it parent. So the parent will be type of, well, the type here will be special because it will be another ID. So let's do mongoose types, and here we will do object ID, and let's say it's not required. Yeah, and that should be it. Now let's go back to API categories, and because we have it as a name parent, we need to do here parent : parent category. I put this into separate lines like this, so it will be easier to read. And now I will try to add iPhones here, iPhones, as a child category of mobiles. And if I click save, we get iPhones, but let's see how it looks inside our database. I will refresh here to see our categories. And here we have iPhones, but without any parent category. Let's see inside network here. Here we posted a new category, but inside payload we have parent category with this ID. So let's see parent category. We get the ID. We set it as parent, maybe because we needed to restart our server. So let's restart here, and I will put maybe iPhones 2 as a parent. Here I will put iPhones 2, and it will be, the parent category will be mobiles. Let's hit save, and we have iPhones 2. Now I'll refresh, and let's see, here we have iPhones 2 and we have parent category. Right, so now let's print our parent category here inside our table. So let's go to Pages Categories, and here we have our table here. But if we just add a parent here, or maybe parent category, and we print category